Morning Uganda Extra.
Good morning and thank you so much for keeping it with us on UBC TV. It is Robert Chirabonyonyi and welcome to Good Morning Uganda Extra. This morning I have very important people in the area of engineering, and we have some news for you, something I'm sure that you may not have had knowledge about, and they're here to tell us. Now we are looking at the launch of the 8M Skilling Center that will be happening tomorrow. And with me on set, I have someone, I don't know if you've not yet met this person, but wherever you've had any catastrophe in this country that requires a building collapsing, he's been a very common figure and face. I first met this gentleman when we had the NSSF tower that was being constructed around Nakasero collapse. And by then, he was the head of the Institute of Professional Engineers. He was the president or chairperson. And these are people that come and do the post-mortem. He did some post-mortem. He made recommendations, and I'm sure they were making it as a body. And the problem has never ended. Every time I meet him, we have, but well, that is not a topic for today. I'll spare him for offset. Now, join me, welcome Engineer Hans JWB Mwesigwa, who happens to be the coordinator of 8M Skilling Center and the past president of the Uganda Institute of Professional Engineers. We are at it again. Welcome.
Thank you, Robert. Good morning, viewers.
Well, and at the extreme end, I happen to be having Engineer Sebuga Chimeze, who is also a past president of the Uganda Institute of Professional Engineers and a promoter 8M Skilling Center. Engineer, also most welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chirabo, and good morning, viewers. I'm happy to be here.
Now, I'll begin with Engineer Hans. 8M, a center. First, even the name itself. Can you give us a background to this?
8M comes in not millions, but factors that start with letter M, which everybody must have to do any business successfully, including the business of engineering, construction, and name it. So you start with mindset, markets, methods, management, money, materials, manpower, and machinery. So the 8M Skilling Center, therefore, is going to be a center which will use these factors to skill people, to train people, and we shall couple it with career guidance. When you're not guided, you do not know where you're going. But even when you know where you're going, you need to polish yourself up by being skilled.
Now, moving to the extreme end, when we talk about this institute, what is it like? You know, the launch we are aware is going to be tomorrow, but what is this like? I mean, people going to come, create a picture for my viewer of what nature of institutes that we're talking about here.
First, thank you very much, Mr. Chirabo, once again. In terms of location, the 8M Skilling Center is in Bokoto. People would know NUDIP, the National Union of
Disabled
persons.
They will even use a Google map.
They will use a Google map, which we are going to, they will know how to find us. And in there, we have got buildings where we have set up this skilling center. We have got trainers, and we shall be periodically be bringing in trainees to attend various programs, various courses that we are putting together to give people skills, wide range of skills for engineers, for architects, for surveyors, for physical planners, for technicians, for artisans. We are drawing up programs. We have already put some programs in place, but we shall continue developing more programs, targeting people who are going to work in various areas of the industry, you know, in construction, in engineering. Like Engineer Hans has said, the 8M is based on those elements of method, materials, and machinery. We are looking at equipping the various actors in the industry with those skills in running the machinery, in using materials in construction, materials in manufacturing, you know, materials in the engineering industry, you know, and the like. So it's going to be versatile. It's going to be a very, very useful training institution, and we welcome everybody to join us.
Now, engineer,
I can give you an example.
Yeah.
A perfect example would be skilling people, training people in how to use local materials. We call it composites. If you have timber, can you use it together with the steel, together with the concrete, to reduce your costs tremendously, but still stay with a strong structure that will not collapse, that is safe. Now, that needs a lot of skilling. Common knowledge, not quite common knowledge, because the promoters of 8M Skilling Center are very, very highly specialized and experienced people. So we share these kind of skillings.
Yeah. Now, a big question that comes out when we hear such institutions coming in is authenticity of your product in terms of national accreditation. Is it going to be that someone comes at 8M to gather these skills for their own benefit? Is this person going to have some documents, certificate? Today we have the Directorate of Industrial Training, where it could have been a mechanic. You know, now I'm speaking to professionals.
Yes.
Where I could have been engineer.
Yes.
And I'm assessed. And I have something I can present anywhere. And even I can be equated to a person who went through formal education who has a diploma in engineering. So what is this going to be like?
Thank you, Robert. We are the last people not to follow the regulations. Whatever we shall give and skill, we shall make sure that we are approved and regulated by the Engineers Registration Board, by the Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers, by the Directorate of Industrial Training, NACAWA. So when we train or skill, let's say a technician, let's say an artisan, we must make sure that we are doing it using a curriculum that is agreed by the directors of industrial training. And he or she will obtain the certificate that is given by these bodies. When we do anything like capacity building, we shall follow the requirements of the Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers, who are there representing the higher authority. And we must make sure, but we know how to do it, that our products get the accreditation, get the certificates that they deserve, so that they go higher and obtain jobs on the understanding that they've been skilled professionally.
Now, Engineer Chimeze, as we talk today, what is the level of skills development in Uganda if you're to make an assessment?
Oh, poor.
Well, fair, I would say, because there is hope. We are getting various professionals, engineers, technicians, and artisans coming out of universities and colleges and technical institutes for the lower end artisans. But the industry requires more skills. There is nobody who comes out of university, who comes out of college, who comes out of vocational training institute with all the necessary skills for them to be able to perform what the industry requires. And this is why 8M Skilling Center is coming in to bridge that gap. They are coming with the basic knowledge, they are coming with the theories and some limited practice in the various areas. But then the industry may needs more than what they are getting from these universities, colleges, and vocational training institutes. So they are coming with this skill base, and the industry needs this skill base. There is a gap here. 8M has identified those gaps. We'll continue identifying these gaps, and these are the gaps that we want to fill. Certainly we know that even the people who went to school a long time ago, those who have been practicing for years, will still need reskilling because things are changing. New technologies are coming in. People have got to be updated with new systems. There's a lot of IT applications, for example, now, more than ever before. Even the equipment we're talking about in the 8M, we're talking about machinery. The machinery we used 20 years ago is not the same machinery that is coming out of that is on the market or in the industry. The machinery now is digital, not analog, you know. And therefore, even people who were skilled 20 years ago, we need to be reskilled. And 8M is looking at these elements.
You've just reminded me when I was doing some construction work.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, I was telling him, well, this company is of fresh graduates, and I think, let me give them this work. So he told me, no.
Yeah.
Look for self-made engineer. Now I told him, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He said, you know, if you want the best construction, that boy who began by, is it a fundi, then went and now is called engineer.
Well, yeah, with Y.
With Y.
Not ER.
He will do you a lot of, he will do for you something classy, something very durable, more than those you're cherishing that are being churned out by university. At the back of my mind, I was like, but these people have studied through university. Well, go and do that. Now you're telling me someone who's self-made. But I want to tell you I never went wrong when I went with the one with the Y.
Yeah.
He did a very perfect job.
I think you're right there. The unfortunate bit with the, shall I say, developing countries is that we don't have this facilitation from the primary up to the higher level. Those of us who have seen it abroad, you have all the facilitation. So here, it's common knowledge that even at secondary schools, we possibly don't have those good laboratories where anybody can mix this and see things exploding.
Workshops.
Yeah? Workshops. At universities, you'll find that unfortunately, we don't have good workshops equipped with machines. And so it's unfortunate that we come out with our graduates, with our technicians, still needing quite a lot. And that's why we come in to add that. By the way, we should be going and we shall be going to organizations. The organization may already have people. And we come to the organization to learn what is it that they feel there is a shortfall. And then we shall pick it from there and skill their people. That's the kind of mode we're using. Yeah.
But Robert, I wouldn't encourage you to go with those other totally, what did you call them? The
Self-made that have gone through the ranks.
The self-made. It's not good to go with the self-made. Rather go with someone who has got the basics, who has been given the theory and practice of engineering.
Look for him.
He has gone to university or college, and then undergone industrial training or internship, and he's a professional, or a technologist or a technician. Don't just pick anyone.
He knows all.
Because the trained ones will look out for the safety and the strength that we was talking about, fit for purpose. They will talk about, they will know the durability, but they also take into consideration the economy of what you are constructing. The other one will be using guesswork. Where you're supposed to have spent 50 million shillings, the other one using guesswork may spend up to 80 million shillings. He will not factor in the economy. So normally he is not able, he, she will not be able to balance the economy with the safety aspects, the strength of this building. Yeah, you may get it right, but at a much higher cost. Or you get at a lower cost, but then you have problems with its strength and therefore safety.
But they also believe that professionals are expensive.
Well.
That is the misbelief, if I may say. You know, you must pay for a good job. You must know that this building here where we are settled at UBC is indeed safe. And that safety came with some professional inputs, and the professional input must be paid for. I mean, the opposite side is for you to build this thing using guesswork, and the whole building comes down on you. The cost of lives and then the cost of putting it back would be tremendous.
But we can give an example. We are lucky we have lived quite a lot in this world. I have visited sites. I can single out one site. I will not tell the owner. And he comes and shows me the beams that make things strong. And I start counting the number of steel bars. And I find where he should be having 4, he has 9. And I find that even the concrete cannot go through them. But I'm expensive because he doesn't want me. But he took me so that I could appreciate that he is good at doing things, you know. By the time you count the cost of the materials that can be over and above what he needed, instead of spending something like 500 million, he has already spent 1.2 billion. Just tell me that difference. Is it what the professional will be asking for? No. Many people lose, but they don't know that they have lost. They stay in the ignorance, and this is what we want to eradicate. Yeah.
Well, you're still with us on UBC TV. Good morning, Uganda Extra. Thank you for always being with us. And I have professional engineers here. Both of them are past presidents of the Institute of Professional Engineers, and they are bringing to you 8M Skilling Center that is aiming at ensuring that people are polished, people are equipped with skills, with the knowledge to better deliver. Now, when we talk about this skilling center, one of the things that you've talked about is hands-on.
Yeah.
And this requires equipment. The biggest challenge that we've always had in our learning is it's more theoretical than practical. So how have you made this a priority?
Oh, at 8M Skilling Center, we are going to solve that very easily. Note that we've said, we have to serve those who need us. There are many organizations out there who have the human beings and the machines and equipment, but they are getting a bad job. So we shall go there, show them how to use the very machines, the very equipment, the very facilities they have, so they can do it. At 8M Skilling Center, we shall give maybe roughly 30% of the theory, brushing up and all that. 70% of the hands-on. We are going to be insisting and advising our, for example, graduates to get out there and get on a saw, cut through the timber, make a product so they know how it goes. To get to know how a carpenter can get tired or he can mislead and fail to calculate well. So it is skilling hands-on, but you still will polish them up. And we shall be a lot touching near everywhere, online, traveling to place and places to be on the spot. Yeah.
Well, I must be going for a break shortly, and before I let this particular team and bring in other two guests, but still regarding 8M Skilling Center, let me just have your parting shot before I let you off set. And I'll begin with Engineer Chimeze.
We have put in place the 8M Skilling Center. We are mainly going to be polishing up with the technical skills to help the actors in the industry, construction industry, engineering at large, give them the requisite skills for them to perform the various tasks at hand. So we are calling upon people in the industry to come and participate in the various programs and courses that we are putting together. We are going to have lively programs, participative programs with very good trainers, Like my colleague said, some will be online, some will be physical. Certainly when we're going to do the practicals, we shall have them physical. And yes, we are going to add to the socio-economic development of this country. Please come and attend our programs.
Okay, Engineer Hans, as we move on.
Tomorrow, 12th of December, all roads lead to 8M Skilling Center at Bokoto. Now, unfortunately, those to attend physically, we are full. But fortunately, everybody else will be able to live stream us. We are discussing a very important topic that sets the ball rolling. It is researching for fundamental ills or problems and developing sustainable solutions. And it's going to be ably discussed by the guest of honor, Honorable Hilary Obarake Onek, Minister for Disaster Preparedness and Refugees. You'll have prominent people like Engineer Dr. Charles Wanayetim, who are promoters. You'll have many people discussing this topic. And anybody else can forward their opinions and views. However, on Wednesday, we shall have a 4-day career guidance gala.
It will start.
It will start on Wednesday, it will end on Saturday. We are inviting all parents to send their senior 3, senior 4, senior 5, senior 6 to come to 8M Skilling Center. It's very easy. Modernity has helped us to say, once you have got on a smartphone and you scroll 8M construction, you'll see YouTube opening, you'll see so many ways, and you'll get to know how to come to us.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Engineer Chimeze and Engineer Hans, for your time. I'll take a short break, and when I return, I'll still have 2 other guests on the same topic as well.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko, I thought I was one of your friends.
You are,
but you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief, and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government, designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
The cardinal role of a government is maintaining law and order, safeguarding citizens' rights, and providing essential public goods and services. Throughout its tenure, the government has consistently upheld these principles. This foundation creates an environment conducive to delivering crucial social services to citizens through diverse approaches such as taxation, strategic budgeting, and effective policy implementation. a transformative education system, advancing healthcare provisions, enhancing social welfare, and propelling infrastructure growth, all of which continue to evolve daily to cater to the population's expectations. Supported by a meticulously organized network of ministries, government remains committed to serving its citizens. Coming soon on your public broadcaster, The Front Bench, your interface with the government every Monday at 8:30 p.m. with Joram Paul Sonko, only on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that short break. Thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. It is Good Morning Uganda Extra. And earlier on, I had Engineer Hans and Engineer Kimeze from 8M Skilling Center. And they told us about what actually the center is going to be doing. Now, one of the key words there was skills development and career guidance. Now I have Engineer Nsimire Annette, who happens to be an independent consultant, a council member of the Uganda Institute of Professional Engineers and Career Guidance Program technical leader also as well. You're most welcome, Engineer.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad that now at least I have a lady on the team.
Good morning, viewers.
And when it comes to issues of engineering, not so many of you are there. Now, at the extreme end, I have Dennis Aguma, who is a lecturer and business incubation consultant. You're most welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Many people talk about, I need a side business, I need a business.
Business
now,
also.
this man is a consultant. So I have a very healthy team when it comes to this. Now, I want to begin with the word career guidance. Engineer Annette. When we talk about career guidance, what is entailed? Many of us had this at A level, you have a career master at school, so career. And at what level anyway would anyone interest themselves into career guidance?
Okay, thank you, moderator. Good morning, our listeners and viewers once again. Career guidance, when we talk of career guidance, we are looking at informing you, giving you the information you need to be able to choose careers of your choice and jobs or jobs that inspire you. But we are also looking at equipping you. So when we talk of career guidance, we are looking at giving you the necessary information that you need to be able to make career choices based on your knowledge, your abilities, your interests, and preference and personality. Because sometimes people have just picked on careers, not because they have the competence, but because it's like by default. So when we talk also of skills, as Dennis will tell you more, but that will help you to know what skills you need based on your career choice. Thank you.
Now, at what level should one go into career guidance? One is already a journalist, one is already a doctor, maybe a lawyer, and they believe they're into a career already, into a profession already. Is it too late?
Okay, I will not say it's too late. Career guidance cuts across of whether you're a professional or you're a young person who is trying to discover yourself, you need career guidance. For example, if you're a young person, I've seen most of our young people, you ask them, like someone is in primary, what do you want to be? An engineer, but doesn't know what it takes to be an engineer. So as you grow up, you can have someone who will take you through to know what you need to focus on to become an engineer. But when you're already a professional like me, I can say I've been in two different careers. I'm an engineer, electrical, telecom, but I've also been a lecturer. I've done jobs. I've done many consultancies in different areas, assessment and what. But one thing I have learned, this is now my experience, is at any stage of your life, you need career guidance. Like when we are talking of professionals, you leave campus, you have your skill, you have your knowledge, but sometimes you pick on a job, your career, you are in a job, you are comfortable with it, but maybe as you do that job, you need to constantly enhance your skills, your knowledge, to be able to remain relevant. So even when you're a journalist, you need career guidance. You need to know what is trending and how do I find myself there? How do I remain relevant in the industry? So sometimes career guidance helps you to know what is trending and how you position yourself to be there to remain relevant. So it's for all ages, and irrespective of where you are at your stage in your career, you can still do career guidance.
Dennis, you wanted to supplement?
Yeah, it's a very important point, and I think Engineer Chimeza also touched on it earlier, continuous professional development. So you can develop skills at various levels. I mean, if you're at university, you're getting a particular type of skills. When you get into the world of work, depending on which company you get into, I mean, I remember I was first here at the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation with Engineer Hans, in fact, about 20 years or so ago, recording a certain play. It's amazing to see the state of the art, the pace of technological advancement in terms of media has moved on from the traditional terrestrial TV of UTV to now digital social media platforms. People have their own YouTube channels where they are live streaming all this kind of stuff. So to think that just because you've graduated from university and therefore you're qualified and you don't need to update yourself, you'd be lying, because every 10 years or so we have a new digital platform, from YouTube to Instagram to now TikTok. Goodness knows what's going to be happening tomorrow. So career guidance in this regard does not necessarily mean just at school. If you're lucky, and I think most corporate organizations have HR departments that are geared and focused towards continuous professional development. Now, if you're unfortunate to find yourself in a company where they don't value that, it's incumbent upon you, in fact, to take it upon yourself to develop your own personal skills. But I think where the 8M Skilling Center is coming in is they've been able to identify those gaps. And I think in partnership with institutions like the Institute of Professional Engineers, government, particular schools, and even the third sector, the NGOs and anyone else who wants to support technical and vocational skills, they've identified that gap and they're very keen to plug the gap. So it's a very noble endeavor, in fact. And I would commend Engineer Hans and the whole team for setting this up.
Now, we talk about career development and skills development. Where do the two come together, or is it the same?
No, it's not the same, although one might be a subset or the other, or leads into another.
Okay.
Let's maybe break it down. First and foremost, what is a skill? You know, a skill is your honed ability to do something, you know. And I mean, you being a journalist, you have certain skills that make you a very good journalist. To be able to investigate, to be able to interrogate, to be able to communicate. Those are kind of skills that you hone. There's an argument to be made as to whether or not some people are born with these kind of skills, but the kind of skills we're talking about today, the technical and vocational skills, you really need you need an institution, an established way in which you can be taught some of these skills. Whereas a career is something different. You get hired because you have these skills.
I could supplement on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because you see, you need skills to shape your career. If I am, like I told you, I've done different jobs. Now, if I'm going to become, like, say, a consultant at UBC, and me, with my knowledge and engineering background, I must know what skills, what does UBC do? So what skills do I need to be able to do a good job there? So your skills help you to shape your career, because you may want to do a career like in something, you want to change your career. So what skills do you need? So the two move hand in hand, but skills help you to fit in that career you are aspiring to join. Yes.
And the other thing about skills is, maybe we haven't had a chance to talk about this, is how do you actually acquire these skills, which is the essence of the 8M Skilling Center. There are very many ways in which you can acquire skills. The most obvious is curriculum methods. of teaching, where you sit in class and they tell you 1 + 1 is 2. And you know, so you get that in class with the lecturer telling you and you having to memorize and all of that. But then there's the extracurricular, the kind of things that you do, not necessarily in class, but sometimes you can do them in tandem with class, in which case they become co-curricular. So there are various methods in which these skills are embedded. We find that the vast majority of our institutions, particularly technical and vocational institutions, while they might focus on curricula, there are numerous opportunities for extracurricular ways in which people can learn, even outside of school, including post-graduation, having projects with communities, or embarking on a project. Maybe a company is building something and students get involved in it. A particular company has a particular problem and students come up with their solutions, sometimes with the support of the institution, maybe not necessarily. So we need to have a holistic approach to this skills development. And the 8M Skilling Center, I think, with support from all the other partners that they've been able to assemble, should be able to plug that gap.
Well, time seems to be flying very fast, but very importantly is that tomorrow we shall be having the launch of the 8M Skilling Center in Wokoto, and all that we are discussing, all these gaps, these are people that have come up to see how best they can address them. Career guidance, very important, but also skills development. And like my guests have told you, the two move in tandem. And you're not yet there, however good you are. Additional knowledge is what will get you there. Now, before we leave, I'll just give each of my guests a minute or two to sum up. And I'll begin with the lady herself that I'm having this morning, Engineer Annette.
Okay. Thank you, moderator. My call to our viewers is please join us at 8M Construction Digest Skilling Center. We have a lot we can share, especially on career guidance. The young people, we need to help you to discover your potential, your interests, so that you are able to choose your careers based on knowledge, not by default, because people choose by default. Because you are good in math, you find you are going for engineering, but is it what inspires you? So we shall help you to discover that. At the same time, for the professionals, there is that gap of theory and practical. So we shall be able to give you the feel of the exposure with the how to be able to acquire the skills you need. As you know, most skills are acquired through exposure, and we have the equipment, we have the capacity to give you that exposure to be able to enhance your skills. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Well, Dennis, as we move out of the studios.
Thank you very much, first and foremost, for having us, and colleagues for today's show. Really, mine is first and foremost to say huge thanks and congratulations to Engineer Hans Mwesigwa and the whole crew at the 8M Skilling Center for having set this Skilling Center up, but also to have a rallying call to young people in particular, if you're doing sciences and technology, engineering, mathematics, those kind of technical subjects. I think you will not lose if you join us tomorrow at the launch. We have a huge list of distinguished panelists from a variety of professions ranging from engineering, surveying, electrical, quantitative. I will be there myself talking about skilling once again. So I would encourage you to log on and join us. There's going to be a hybrid event. There will be a live session, and I think we're already sold out, so there will be no more seats. But you can join us online and come and talk about technical and vocational skills. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Engineer Annette. And Dennis, thank you so much. And of course, earlier I had Engineer Hans and Engineer Chimeze. Thank you so much for your time, and above all, our viewers, thank you so much for always being with us right from 6:30 when we open with Good Morning Uganda, and an extension which is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Very important is you need to have the right skills. It is very disturbing that universities, institutions churn out a lot of people. And they have all that it takes in terms of theory, but the practical element remains a problem. No wonder today we are seeing so many self-made taking up opportunities, because along the way they have acquired the skills. But we need the professionals that have the skills that can really deliver quality work. And how will you get this? Well, the 8M Center is up for you. Give it a try. Well, see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day. For God and my country. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is